Hi everyone. So on Saturday, as I said I was going to do last week, I went down to London to cover the People's Assembly rally, the People's Assembly Against Austerity rally, I believe it was called. That was the name of it, although many people there called it many different things. And this was a collection of all sorts of different factions on the left that were marching in London to call for a general election. That was the general feel. Now this video is going to be about that. I also nipped over to the Ecuadorian embassy as well. I did a piece to camera over there, and that'll be in the second part of this video. But I did some pieces to camera. I am no expert at this. It was just on my phone. So yeah, enjoy this. This is my reporting from the rally in London that was on the 12th of January. Hi everyone, so I'm down at Portland Place in London where the People's Assembly March is about to take place. There's about, I reckon, about 1,000 people here so far. They're from the Communist Party, some from the Socialist Workers' Party, obviously from the People's Assembly, and also stand up to racism as well. There's probably, like I said, a little over 1,000 people. There's more down to the back end of Portland Place, as you can see. I'm going to stop with this for a few hours. I've been talking to a few people. They're all pretty much here to protest on different things. Some want an end to austerity, some want an end to the wars, but they're all on the same page in that Theresa May apparently must go. So I'm going to stop with this for a few hours, and we'll see what happens, how it develops, and if it gets a bit quieter later in the afternoon, we'll head over to Knightsbridge and see who's outside the embassy. Okay, take care for now. Don't give up the fight. Don't give it up, don't give it up. Get up, stand up, get up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. In the last year, Shelter this week said that we have the worst housing crisis for generations since the Second World War. We have teachers everywhere taking food into schools because the children don't have enough food at home because they're parents. So we've made it down to Trafalgar Square, and it's been well organised. This has. The turnout wasn't as big as I expected, although why I expected bigger I don't know, but it's been well organised. There's been absolutely no trouble at all. The police have been laughing and joking with the protesters. It's been absolutely quite fantastic. Nothing like the stuff that you saw
on TV on Monday by Lord knows what that was. I'm not sure about some of the chants that they've been singing. They've been singing things like "No Borders, No Nations." Not quite sure how that's going to work, but I'll stay here for another probably 20 minutes. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This rally's just started, but I need to head down to the embassy before it gets dark to at least do a piece to camera from there. So yeah, this is it. It's all gone off without incident. It's been a really good day, to be quite honest. Everybody's been jovial, been singing along, been very loud. So yeah, I'm going to stop here for another 20 minutes, and then next bit will be for the embassy. Okay. So there you go. That was my piece from London. I hope you enjoyed it. I've got quite a few observations though from my trip down there. The first thing is that rally demonstration, whatever you call it, it was well organised. Now, Laura Pidcock, who's a Labour MP, I think she's just come back from maternity leave. She's just had a baby. She had a hand in organising it. That I found out that in the French press, believe it or not. Yes, I read French press. Google Translate is a wonderful thing. It was really well organised. In the piece that I did, in the little clips I did there, you could see that there was a truck in front. There was about 2,000, I would say, in the end, 2,500 people there, but that's an estimate, if you like. But there was a truck going down the road from where it started to Trafalgar Square, and it was leading them in front of them and putting out traffic cones that were attached on a piece of tape. So they cut off half the road, so the other half of the road was actually free. So the effect on the traffic was minimal, totally minimal. Now, the businesses down there, the shops and businesses, must have made a fortune on Saturday, because all the protesters, including me, who was obviously covering it, were nipping into shops left, right and centre. London is so expensive. So expensive. They charge you 30 pence to take a piss. It really is taking the piss. But so it was a well-organised rally. It was great. I didn't stop much longer than I did the last piece to camera, because I was running out of time and I had to head over to the embassy. But there was a few things that I want to, observations really, that I want to cover here. First of all, the one chant that was sung over and over by, I think it was members of the Socialist Workers' Party, "No borders, no nations, stop deportation." Now, the stop deportation part, I can get on board with that. But at the same time, what happens if you've already deported somebody who was an illegal immigrant for crimes, and you deported him because he was a criminal, and then he snuck back in, and you find him? Well, you meant to keep him in your country then, you know? I understand the ethos behind it, especially with the Windrush affair that's just happened, and obviously I agree with that, but, you know, there are nuances to this. And then the first part of it, no borders, no nations. I'm not quite sure how that works, but I do understand that in a utopia, this would be the best option, and that maybe, you know, in the future, going forward, this is how the Earth will come together, and hopefully, maybe one day. But no, when they were singing "No borders, no nations, stop deportation," I was on the other side of the road filming them, and the people on the other side of the road were laughing. Now, to avoid that in the future, I thought, right, okay, what's the best way to avoid that? Well, essentially what they're saying is very similar to a very, very popular and catchy and famous song. That's basically what they were singing about. So don't go down the road. My advice is, don't go down the road singing "No borders, no nations." Go down the road singing "Imagine" by John Lennon. You'll actually get the people watching joining in with you rather than standing there laughing. It's just an observation that I've made. Maybe, you know, that's one thing to think in the future. Imagine there's no countries. You can imagine it. They would love it. They would be singing it at the top of their voice. All the bystanders would get involved. That's the first bit of advice I would give them. The second bit of advice is this. I had people come up to me while I was there and recognise me. And I hope they're not going to hate me for this, because they obviously had a wonderful day, and I had a great day there as well. I didn't join in with them because that's not my kind of yellow vest movement. And then let me explain why. There was about 2,000 people there. But 2,000 people in that kind of rally are not going to have any effect whatsoever. Look at the media. The media haven't covered it much at all. I saw a piece in the Shropshire Star on this. I saw a piece in the Express, I believe. But they got hardly any coverage compared to, look at the coverage that the bunch of, the handful of far-right extremists, as they're calling them, whatever they are. I don't know what they are yet, to be quite honest. But they're concentrating on them solely in the media by the look of it, because that's where the story is. And this is my point about that rally. It didn't get the exposure, even though it was a great day and everybody had a great time, and the things they were marching for were wonderful on the most part. It didn't get the press, any amount of press really that it should, and it didn't have the effect that it should, and the people there were not joining in with them as they should have. And here's why. It was obedient. That's the problem with it. It was obedient. And it doesn't surprise me that, you know, Labour MPs have had a hand in this. Labour MPs just suck at messaging and trying to create the best kind of noise. You don't get anywhere with obedient protest. The only way you're going to get anywhere with an obedient protest is if 2 to 3%, I think is the figure, of the population take part in it. And guess what? If you get 2 million Brits on the streets in an obedient demonstration, pretty soon it's not going to be obedient. You're going to get people, you're going to get flare-ups. The police are going to obviously escalate things. That's what happened. The only way you're going to make a change with 2,000 people marching like that is disobedience. Had they all sat down in the middle of that road and stopped the traffic totally, had they closed down bridges, they've got to do something disobedient. I have studied, I really have gone into it quite in depth and looked at the best kind of demonstrations, and I am a big advocate of you always, and this is what I believe the Palestinians should do as well. But, I mean, they start this and it quickly escalates, so I understand that maybe they've just think, oh, well, that's useless, let's just go straight to violence. I understand it, especially with an occupied force. But I think the best kind of protest is non-violent civil disobedience, as Gandhi did. And eventually, India was, you know, got its independence. That's the best kind of protest. And then, when the police in the UK, as they inevitably will, escalate the situation, then they don't want a peaceful, non-violent demonstration. They want a violent one, because then they can change the narrative, and the police will obviously escalate things, as they have done in France. Now, I don't think this is going to go away. But I also don't think that rallies like the People Assembly, as great as it was, I am not shitting on your day, it was wonderful, I'd do it again. But I don't think that is going to have the effect, because it was obedient. You've got to cost them money. You've got to shut them down. You've got to cause them grief for them to take notice. That was a great day out. Nobody was paying any attention to it in the government, I don't think. And certainly the press weren't, and certainly because of that, the nation weren't paying attention to this. They were only paying attention to the stuff the media is showing them on the TV at the moment, which is predominantly the coverage of what they say are some far-right lunatics. And to be honest, the jury is out on exactly who these people are, considering what we know with regards to the political sort of space we are living in at the moment. All bets are off as to what is actually happening. So, yeah, that is my report of that rally. It was great. I loved it. I supported it totally, but there is no way I was going to join it. And I had my yellow vest in my bag. It's not my kind of rally. If it was disobedient and we were causing some grief, losing the money, shutting down stuff, then yeah, I'd have been all for it. I'd have been on the front lines. I'd have been thinking, yeah, give me the microphone. Oh, no. It was obedient. And I'm afraid if you want any change in this country, any change with the government, with regards to anything, civil, non-violent, civil, disobedient protests are the way to start. And then when they escalate, end up playing into your hands. You're the good guys then. I'll release part 2 of this, and I'll link it up there. Thanks very much. To support truly honest, independent journalism like this, please go to patreon.com/Gordon Dimmack. You can become a patron of mine for as little as $1 a month, and every dollar helps. I cannot stress that enough. We can't do this without you. Also, you can use any of the avenues on your screen right now to donate, or below. There are many of them. Please make sure you're subscribed. They unsubscribe people every day, so please make sure you are, and click that bell as well so you get a notification of when I drop further videos. Thanks very much for your support. Until next time, peace and take care.